Do you believe the body can heal itself? Do you accept as true all the information you receive from a doctor? What does the body really need to heal itself? Well, if you want to know the answer to those questions and get 7 steps to heal your body and possibly even change your life, then this show is for you. Our guest, Nancy Cleek Dolan, is going to share her story with us of incurable diseases, overcoming those, and supposedly neurological permanent damage, which is also what she's going to share because that's a supposedly. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Nancy and hear her story because she is now a thriving coach, hypnotist, medical intuitive, and healer. Nancy, I am so honored you are part of the show today. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's an honor.
It's such an honor for me too, because this is going to, everybody needs to hear this. And I just want to share everybody who is just starting, if this is your first time or if you've been on here before, I want to welcome you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Randi Light experience. And if you're new, you're probably wondering what's going to happen today. And I want to, and maybe even who I am too. Well, my name is Randi Light, and I'm a peak performance coach. I'm a hypnosis instructor and a healer. And for the past 11 years, I've hypnotized thousands of children and adults to virtually overcome everything that's in their way so that we can be our best version of ourselves. I am also the author of The Essential Four and the creator of the Essential Four system. It's hypnosis combined with coaching, and it gives you everything you need to get out of your own way, to get from where you are to where you want to be, including overcoming diseases and things like that. What's also cool about today is, and always be, this is called the Randi Light experience. So you always get an experience. And so that's what we're going to do, a hypnosis meditation to incorporate some of the 7 steps that Nancy is going to share with us today. So that is going to be great too. So some of you might be listening live, or you might be listening to the recording. Well, let us know you're here. We want to know. Some of you have already said hello. Please say hello, share with us, share with others. Let us know that you're here and that you are grateful to be getting this information, whether you're listening live or listening to the recording. So you can hit the love buttons, send the bubbles across the screen. We love hearing, seeing all those things. And Julie, you are here. Thank you. Say hello, Julie Hartwell Graves. Welcome to the show. Nick is the one who got me started on this, and we're up to 40 episodes. Yep, Nick, he's probably got 140 or 340 episodes. He's great too. But all right, so you guys, I am so excited that Nancy is going to share with us. She is thriving. She is a healer, and she has put together 7 steps. But you've got to hear her journey. I met Nancy a couple of years ago at a training, and then we just saw each other at the Heartland Hypnosis Conference. She came to my group, Past Life Regression Made Easy. Nancy, hi, yay.
Hi, Randi. Hi, Randi. Yeah, Past Life Regression Made Easy. I need to say this now. It was life-changing for me, Randi. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Well, okay, so so I was teaching, so for all you guys who are listening, I was teaching hypnotists how to do group past life regression in an easy way. And so I took everyone through the process. And Nancy, you had an incredible experience. Would you like to share that?
Briefly. Yeah, my entire life, I have felt challenged in certain situations. Performance anxiety. Yeah, I know some friends are surprised, but it's true.
And here we are, you know.
Right. And I shared with you, RuPaul was over, in my mind, was always behind my shoulder saying, don't mess it up. And it was, I would say it was a challenge that has been crippling and has held me back, because I've said no many times when I wanted to say yes, and during your session, the group session you did, I gained clarity, and I understand why I feel that now, and I was able to release it. So that's part of my history. It's no longer my present. So thank you for that.
Wonderful, Nancy. Well, I'm sure everybody's curious. What happened? I mean, you didn't just wake up one day and was sick. So what happened?
Disease and disorder is seldom caused by any one single factor. Usually it's the, recipe for a perfect storm. So ultimately, it's always the result of imbalance. So there were things in my life that were out of balance, and that caused me to be vulnerable to disease. In my case, it was late-stage Lyme disease, but there were numerous diagnoses prior to that. And most of the diseases I've been diagnosed with were idiopathic, no known cause. So the combination of me being not in balance and this underlying infection ultimately is what caused me to become completely debilitated.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was so amazed to see you, just like my last person I interviewed. I know her as this beautiful goddess that floats around, and that's how I saw you, as this beautiful woman and smart, and then all of a sudden, I don't remember, but I heard something and I was like, oh my God, I have got to. You are actually the reason why we are here today and why I'm doing this show. It's you.
Really?
Yeah, that's what gave me the idea. I'm like, oh my God, I want people to know that they can overcome things. I want to empower them and give them hope. And that's your journey too. But I mean, you were debilitated for like 5 years or something. You could not.
No, it was longer than that. I experienced that disease for almost 2 decades. It was 17, 18 years. And I was completely debilitated for a decade. I was bedbound for 3 years. I was housebound for 4. Even my medical was coming to me because my condition wasn't stable enough for me to leave the house. So I was in critical condition.
Oh my God. So you said Lyme, so it affected your what? Tell us more about that.
It infected, in my case, my whole body. Lyme disease can manifest in numerous ways. I hit the Lyme lotto, and it manifested in me in most every way it can manifest. Oh. So it had infected my organs, my brain. It had done a lot of damage. Every nerve group and every nerve in my body was damaged. So I was.
What was your life like when that happened? What did you do for a living? What were your thoughts? What were you?
I lost everything. I lost my business. I had a very successful business. I was a contractor. I lost my business. I ultimately lost my home. I went through all my resources. My treatment at that time, my medical, just for my treatment, was $20,000 a month. I lost everything except what matters most.
Yeah. Well, okay, but before that, were you stressed out? Were you eating bad?
I was in an unhappy marriage. I had 3 children that I was supporting. I was working. I remember there was a period I worked 18 months without 1 day off. I was working long days. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then
and I was taking care of everybody's needs except my own. So there's that.
Yeah. Okay. And then you went through this whole thing. So how did you get yourself out of this?
Well, I tried the standard route, I Western medicine and all of that, and it was failing. And I was literally dying. So I knew I had to do something different. So I embraced holistic healing. I did my inner work. There was a lot of work I needed to do in here. And I started thinking outside the box, which is one of my steps that I'd like to mention. I looked to alternative treatments.
Well, okay. Before we go any further, this is an important pivotal moment, because many people who will say they're dying die, and they go down that route. If someone tells them you've got a couple months to live, they believe them. And you were dying, and you said you knew you had to do something different, where many people instead just say, okay. And
that is one of the first steps that I like to share with people, is to understand that the body is designed to heal and to believe that healing is possible. That is the most important first step. The placebo effect is, our mind is responsible for at least 1/3 of our healing. At least, I'd say more, but at least 1/3. On the flip side of that, there's the nocebo effect, where you are told, this is an absolute, no, this is incurable, this damage is permanent. And the nocebo effect is also responsible for some people's inability to recover. Because if you buy into that, you've missed that first important step, believing that healing is possible.
So you knew that? How did you get to a place that you knew that?
That's a good question, Randy. I think inherently we all know that. I think we all have a knowing, and sometimes we forget. I don't believe I forgot that. I just got away from it. I was depending on someone else to heal me. I was depending on something outside of me to fix me. I was depending on others instead of tapping into my own inner physician.
Okay, so I think you're going to cover everything, and you might want to go ahead and get into the steps since you're already just started. But this is just so important. But somehow at that moment you made that decision, and so many people make the decision to just leave the earth instead of saying, "Oh, I have to do something different." Some people do that, but that is key. So take it. So go ahead.
Well, I think it's only fair if in full disclosure, I did reach that point where I was just done and did not want to be here anymore. So, yeah, and I did make an attempt to take my life,
which you can see why, because
yeah, at the time it seemed the only thing that I could control, but as it turned out, I wasn't able to control that either. So I failed, and I'm very grateful that I did. I was furious at the time, but then I moved on to alternative treatments and decided to take matters into my own hands. Nice. So, and that is the third step, is thinking outside the box. Be open to looking beyond the status quo.
Okay, so what's the first step?
Understanding that the body is designed to heal. We were designed for that, and believing that healing is possible.
Yes.
Do not buy into the nocebo effect. Do not buy into, being told that something is irreversible or something is permanent, because believing it will make it so.
Yeah. Okay. And that is so important, no matter what's going on. I mean, you and the last person couldn't leave the house, couldn't do things. And somehow deep inside you somehow knew that the body is designed to heal itself. Eventually you got to that place. So then what's number 2? What's the second step?
Knowing that nobody can heal you. People can act as guides and teachers and healers, but ultimately we have to do our own work. No one's going to fix us. That's a DIY job. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We can all guide, because you and I, when we call ourselves healers and hypnotists, we're the guide, we're the channel. We can assist, but the ultimate has to come. Because you have to allow it, you have to accept it, you have to reach out to people like us to help them.
And you have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah.
So no one can do that for you.
Yeah. Okay, and then the third step
is thinking outside the box, being open to new concepts, new ideas, being open.
Well, Chantel, I was talking about you, but she just came on. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, thanks for saying hello. You guys say hello. We want to know you're here. And if you're enjoying this, I certainly am, because I know the truth about everything that Nancy's sharing. And it's obvious she could share a ton of research and we could go on for days. So welcome, you guys. If you like this, send some of the bubbles, the likes, and say hello. We just want to hear from you. We want to know that you're here. And okay, so think outside the box. All healing is self-healing. She said the same thing. Thanks, Chantel. Exactly. She's a healer too. Okay, so tell us more about thinking outside the box.
I think, especially in our culture, with disease, we look at the symptoms and we just want them to go away. We don't really look at the cause. We just want them to go away. We want to be comfortable. We're attached to being comfortable. And if we can quiet that symptom, we feel, okay, we're good. I encourage people to go deeper. Okay, there's a reason for those symptoms, and that takes me to step number 4, is to understand what each symptom is there for. Each symptom has a cause and a meaning, and the purpose of a symptom is to draw our attention to something in our life that needs to be addressed. Whether it's biological, whether it's emotional, but the symptom is the body's language to get your attention.
That's brilliant and simple. And people, Willow says, you, Nancy, are my biggest inspo. And
hi, Willow.
And Krista says, hello, I love both of you ladies. I think we all met together, so cool. Yeah, also understanding each symptom and that it's a message, right?
Yeah.
A wake up.
It's there to prompt us to make needed changes, whatever those may be. So think outside the box and understand what those symptoms really mean.
Okay. And a great way to do that is to look within, but I mean, that's when it's
hypnosis is an excellent tool for that.
What is?
Hypnosis is an excellent tool for that.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, someone who can help you get to the root cause and understand, and because we can help make the symptoms go away, and we can also help get to the source. Okay, cool. Yes, these are all so important and simple. It's like, do this.
You know, disease can be very complicated, but healing doesn't necessarily need to be.
Love that. So what's the 5th step then?
Shifting perspective. And that one is huge. And it can feel challenging, but especially when you're in the throes of it. So when you're in the throes of a disease and you're suffering, I mean, it's understandable that people would think like, you know, why is this happening to me? Why me? But a shift in the perspective and thinking in terms of, what is this teaching me? What does this have to teach? What is this doing for me? So thinking in terms of things happening for you rather than to you will take you out of victim mentality. And I have never met a person with victim mentality that has fully recovered. So that shift is important, to shift the perspective, watch your language. I think it's helpful to think in terms of things of experience. Like, I experienced late-stage Lyme disease. If I said I had late-stage Lyme disease or have, then it belongs to me. And once we claim something as ours, it's more difficult to get rid of it. So think in terms of experience, something you're experiencing rather than something you have.
I like that. Say that again.
Shifting the perspective.
So there's a lot to that shifting the perspective. You know, we could move through some of the other things. I mean, when you somehow subconsciously recognize that the body is designed to heal, and you then decided that no one can heal you, and that you needed to do something different, and then that's thinking outside of the box. Well, you know, maybe looking up what other people have done to overcome Lyme, but then what was your journey with the 4th step understanding the symptoms? So So somehow even that's a shift in perspective, right? You're like, so what did you do or think or experience at that point where number 4, you know, with the symptoms?
Well, I realized that $1.5 million in treatment wasn't working. And so I needed to do something else. And obviously money wasn't the answer. Because, you know, I mean, if $1.5 million in treatment doesn't work, I mean, so that's when I started looking into natural treatments. For me, it was Be Venom Therapy. And there is not a doubt in my mind that the bees saved my life. Bees. Now, they didn't do everything for me. It's not like, you know, I did Be Venom and, you know, it fixed me. But they did save my life. And then I was able to go on and do the additional work that needed to be done to fully recover.
This is brilliant. Thanks, Adrienne. Yes, this is brilliant. Nancy is brilliant. I am right there with you. So let's talk a few minutes about this, the Be Venom Therapy and how that got you to a place where you actually could then heal, right? It like did some specific things. The bees, which are dying, saved your life.
Right.
Fascinating.
The bees got the infection, addressed the infections, and helped modulate my immune system. I was very immune deficient. My lab all looked like AIDS. There was no HIV present, but very immune deficient. So the bees helped me, the physical body. Of course, wellness is an ongoing job. So it's not like, you know, if you're not well, you get healed and you're done. You know, there was a reason I became sick at one point. And so, you know, it's an ongoing process. So, you know, learning to love myself, learning to set healthy boundaries, letting go of toxicity, whether that be relationships, environmental, restoring balance to my life. So, but the bees were definitely a catalyst for that.
Yeah, so it's almost like they held space for you. So with Be Venom Therapy, there might be people on here that don't necessarily know what that is. All I remember is that you were, you know, the thought to me of stinging myself or someone stinging me with Be Venom Therapy does not sound very pleasant. I have some beekeepers and I love them, but they all get stung. And I'm like, that does not sound good to me. But you're like, oh, that pain is nothing.
Exactly. It's all relative, Randi. Exactly. A bee sting, it's like, you know, if you have neural Lyme, I mean, what's a bee sting? That's nothing. I found the therapy to be more benevolent than my previous therapies, interestingly. But the thing that's so ironic is that over $1.5 million in treatment, and it failed, and I was dying. And Be Venom is so accessible and was so inexpensive. I think the biggest shipping charge was the biggest cost. So the therapy costs like $50 or $60 a month, and that is mostly shipping charges.
So tell us, so Adrienne was wondering too, so it very briefly, but tell us how this works, this Be Venom Therapy.
In my case, I used a protocol for Lyme and co-infections. It's pretty much the same to treat most any systemic condition, but stings are applied 1 inch to the right and left of the spine every other day, 3 days a week, with 2 days off for detox. This isn't something you want to do daily because a bee sting will cause a rise in your ACTH, and we don't want that elevated 24/7. That could lead to a condition like Cushing's. So in proper dosage, it's very beneficial.
Okay, and yeah, so, and I know I sent somebody to you, but they already had Cushing's disease, so I think they couldn't do the Be Venom Therapy. And Liz, hi Liz, she was wondering how many bees needed to sting you to be effective.
For the condition that I was treating, it's 10. You work up. You don't start out with. You start with a test sting, and then you increase the number of stings as tolerated till you reach 10 stings every other day, 3 days a week.
So you started a Be Venom Therapy Facebook page.
I did,
right?
yeah.
And then you assist people with it too, right? As a volunteer.
I do. Yeah, that's one of the ways I pay it forward. I volunteer my time with Be Venom and in the Lyme community.
Thank you. And so, okay, and in a nutshell, how did this Be Venom, what did this Be Venom therapy do for you?
Where do I begin, Randy?
Well, it encapsulated or did something to the.
It eradicated the pathogens. And one of the things about Lyme disease, it's a Borrelia bacteria, and it's smart. It has more DNA than any known bacteria, so it's very adaptable, and it's thought to be incurable. Once it's late stage or chronic, you can suppress it, and remission is a possibility, but no cure. So one of the things the Be Venom did was it took me above and beyond remission. So it eradicated the pathogens. So, I'm not concerned about a relapse.
That's incredible and beautiful. Thank you, bees. Thank you.
It also has restorative properties. So I believe the Be Venom is a huge factor in why a lot of that permanent damage and irreversible damage was restored. So
what did the doctor tell you that it was permanent?
You mean before the bees? The last thing she told me was I had been treated and diagnosed with MS for many years and Parkinson's disease. And it had progressed and I had spiraled. And after their test and neuroconductive studies and all that, and she told me, this isn't MS, Nancy. What we're looking at now is ALS. So can Be Venom therapy help with ALS? There is research on Be Venom and ALS specifically, and it does appear to be very helpful. It certainly helped me. And I had no feeling in my body. I mean, every nerve and every nerve group in my body was damaged. I had experienced literally. I had deep bone pain because my bone marrow was infected, but I had no feeling in my body. Because all the nerves were damaged. I also experienced respiratory paralysis where I was unable to inhale or exhale. There was a lot of damage. Wow. So I have a client who has very high lead poisoning, and they're doing different things to detox, and she has cells that, I mean, they kind of think it's ALS, but they don't really, she doesn't really have those symptoms, but it seems like ALS in a lot of ways. Do you know if Be Venom therapy would help with the lead, helping with the lead or regeneration of tissue? Or it does help with regeneration. It does promote the body's ability to detox. It aids the body's ability to detox, and it does offer some protective properties for the organs against metals. There are other ways to address lead. I don't think that I would use Be Venom just to detox lead, but for the damage and the other symptoms that go with that, yes, it can be helpful. Wow, I'm gonna have them call you. She can't talk. Her husband does all the talking, and she can barely walk anymore. But so okay, but then so if you're not moving and you can't feel, now all of a sudden you start to. Well, it wasn't all of a sudden. If only. It was a journey. But I did begin regaining some feeling after I began the Be Venom. And now I have complete, there's no more damage and I have complete feeling. Everything works. It's all good. That's incredible and so magical. And how long was that journey? I know that the ALS diagnosis was in 2009. So I had lost all feeling prior to that, and I had difficulty walking. I had drop foot. I couldn't pull my feet back or my toes or anything like that. So that was 2009, and I began Be Venom in 2014. So. Oh, wow.
Well, that says a lot too. There's a lot of hope there with that you can be, that sick or damaged supposedly for that many years. And now, I mean, you move, you dance, you do everything. You're fully recovered. And okay, so what's number 6? Is wellness number 6 or?
Number 6 is shifting from the sympathetic state into the parasympathetic state. So, fight or flight can keep us alive, okay? But it's not a state that the body can heal. So if you're in a chronic state of fight or flight, which happens when you're dealing with chronic illness, you get wired, but the body cannot heal in that state. So learning to shift from that sympathetic state into a parasympathetic state, a healing state, is crucial for healing. And once again, hypnosis is excellent for that. Meditation, deep breathing. But if you're wired into that chronic, fight or flight state, the body is probably not going to heal.
Yeah, and we're the only animal on the planet that stays in fight or flight. So if an animal is getting chased by something after the threat is over,
the animal releases that energy, where we humans, we can't always, we don't always run and we don't always fight, and we suppress it, and then it becomes a chronic.
Yes, I encourage you guys to learn hypnosis or hire hypnotists, people that is the easiest and most powerful thing, is to melt that stress out of that body, to reset those systems so you can be in your calming nervous system state and stay there and learn how to get back there quicker. And then you can incorporate all these things and heal. And oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so a couple of shifting things, seems like that's what's going on here. We have to
shift happens.
So if you're liking this, you guys, please send some more bubbles, whether live or recording. Listen, say hello. We want to know you're here. I'm hoping that, Nancy, you will share the 7 steps on the page or something like that.
I will do that.
Right. And number 7?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, it's the last one, but it's not least. Gratitude. Gratitude is essential. And this sounds Fruit Loopy, but gratitude activates the ascension matrix, and that's the foundation for healing. And I know finding things to be grateful for can feel challenging when you're suffering. An example was when I was bedridden and not able to get out of my bed. And I'm laying there in all kinds of pain, how tired I am of laying in that bed. Well, a grateful mindset and actively practicing gratitude is, instead of focusing on the fact that I had to lay in bed, I have this wonderful bed to lie in. So it's shifting, another shift to gratitude, to a state of gratitude, and actively practicing gratitude.
So important.
It's fundamental for healing.
Because that's going to activate your calming nervous system too, and that's going to help you make change and shift your perspective. And I could share some research right now about the power and the truth of elevated moods and clear intention is going to actually, there's a study that it wound and unwound DNA by up to 25%. Participants, healers who were focused on it because they were in a state of gratitude and had a clear intention. I mean, think about that. Yes. And so some people said, Adrian says, I have found gratitude in advance. Yeah, for the healing and to be quite powerful. Yes. Well, this is beautiful. It's really simple. I love how you made this into, now, not easy. It seems easy, but, and is that what made you become a healer? is. Tell us about that, and then we're going to and then I'm going to hypnotize you guys so you can heal and relax and shift and get into an attitude of gratitude. But so how you decided you had a purpose? Is that did you have a talk to God or the creator and like, once I get healthy, I'm going to blah, 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 tell us about that.
Well, I believe if a person has information or knowledge which may benefit another, there is a moral obligation to share it. So there's that. And, finding purpose is a trait of resilient people. And so, yes, I did look for purpose in my journey. It's like,
Purpose and resilience are, go together. Yeah, like gratitude and healing go together. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you have a thriving business where you help other people too.
I do. And I don't know that I ever sat down and thought, okay, what will I be when I grow up? Oh, I'll be a healer. I'll be this, I'll be that. No, as I went through my journey and came through the other side of it, people began coming to me and asking me to help with this and help with that. And that's how I became, who I am and do what I do.
Awesome. Oh my God, you've just been an amazing guest. So I want to give everyone the opportunity to experience some of the things Nancy talked about today. And then we'll share with you how you can reach out to Nancy and learn more from her. But right now, if you are multitasking, if you're multitasking, please, I encourage you to stop, and because this is a closed eye process for all of you to enjoy. It's my gift to you, as Nancy is my gift to you guys as well, for humanity. And that's my deep passion, is to raise the consciousness of humanity and move it forward into love and learning how to overcome these kind of things, and that it's possible for you. So I am going to guide you now into a focused and relaxed state where you're more open and receptive, where I can deliver wonderful suggestions of you getting into that attitude of gratitude and creating a shift inside of you. And just like Nancy started at the very beginning of the show, she had a powerful shift when we did a group past life. So I encourage you, stop what you're doing right now and close your eyes. And take a deep breath in and fill up your belly and hold your breath in for as long as you comfortably can. And when you let your breath out, tell yourself to relax. Picture, hear, and feel a healing sound wave flowing through you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And we're going to do this a couple of more times. Next breath in, take a deep breath in, hold it in, and look up above your eyebrows at your third eye, connecting with your higher self and your intuition. And then lower your eyeballs, tell yourself relax, and breathe out and picture that healing sound wave flowing through you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Let us do that one more time. Deep breath in, hold that breath in, look up, connect with your higher self and your intuition. And then when you lower your eyeballs and you breathe out, just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper to a place inside you where things change, where things heal, where insight lives. Now imagine a set of stairs that's going to lead you down a path to a place we can call your temple of healing. So picture yourself, or just imagine yourself at the top of those stairs now. And imagine a pathway leading you to your temple of healing, a sacred place for you to go and to heal and to relax. I'm going to count backwards, and every step and every number you go down, just allow it to double your relaxation. Just pretend for a moment you have that incredible ability to relax. And feel the warmth of the radiant sun, see its bright blue sky, and notice what your stairs are made of. Go ahead and imagine yourself right now taking a step down one of those stairs from 10 down to 9 and double your relaxation. And then see and hear and feel yourself taking another step down to 8 and just relax and then let go. And then drift down as you step down to 7. Going deeper, double that relaxation, drift down to 6. Hear yourself relax and hear yourself step down to 5. And then step down to 4 and just let go even more. Double that relaxation and drift down to 3, 2. And with the final count of 1, step down now and walk the path towards your temple of healing. Allow a lightness of being to wash over you, a lightness of being. Walk towards your temple of healing with a confidence, with a grace, and with an ease. And whenever you walk into any sacred space, just like the native Lakota people did, they honored all their relations. So you can say, thank you. You could say, aho mitakuyasin. You can say anything you want. But be in front of your temple of healing, trusting your impressions. And wherever the entrance is, walk in, honoring this opportunity. And as you walk in or float in, notice the ground or floor of your temple of healing. Notice windows, what's on the walls, if there is walls. I know mine has a beautiful sacred tree right in the front. There's a place in your temple of healing, a special room for you to sit or lay or float and just relax and let go and drift down even deeper and deeper to a place inside you where things heal. So take a moment to relax. Could be in the water, you might be floating. And think about, maybe there's a part of you that you want to heal. Now some of you may invite in an inner healer or an inner physician, and you might sense an energy, a light, or even feel a presence. You might hear a presence. It might show up as you or the opposite sex. Just trust your impressions and invite some type of inner healer, inner physician for you to connect with to guide you on your journey of self-healing, of love. So with the count of 3, just double your relaxation. 2, go even deeper. And with the count of 1 now, invite in an inner healer or an inner physician now. Trust your impressions, what you might see or hear or feel or even smell. And welcome and greet this inner healer. Thank them for joining you today. Take a moment to let your inner healer know why you came to your temple of healing. It could be for emotional or physical, something you want in your life. Declare an intention of well-being, of getting into gratitude, of being able to make a shift or let go of something that no longer serves you. That you be guided to what you need to do, think, feel, to change, to heal. Your inner healer is here to guide you. And I'm going to help you get into an attitude of gratitude so that you really can feel that more and more every day, because there's always something we could feel grateful for. Always being able to see, hear. So go ahead and do what I call heart breathing. So the next breath in, take a deep breath in and imagine you're breathing in through your heart. And when you breathe out, imagine you're breathing out through your heart. Just focus your breathing on your heart. So as you breathe in, you imagine you're breathing in through your heart. And as you breathe out, imagine you're breathing out through your heart. And as you focus your breathing on your heart, invite your heart to open. And then see and hear and feel your heart opening. Maybe like a rosebud opening into a magnificent purple rose, or like a door opening, tunnel flowing, or vortex spinning. Feel your heart opening, and you're going to increase a really good feeling. You're going to get into an attitude of gratitude. Now you can become aware of 6 things you could feel grateful for right now, or you can go to a memory where you felt absolutely grateful. And it could have been yesterday or many years ago. Maybe you were being hugged. Maybe you were dancing. Maybe you were walking and you felt grateful. Maybe you just felt better. So you can time travel back to a wonderful memory, or just keep reminding yourself of all these things that you could feel truly grateful for, like having a bed, having a warm home, having light, having a computer, having a phone, being able to see. So I'm going to count from 3 to 1 and snap my fingers. Allow each number to relax you and deepen you. And I snap my fingers, if you'd like, go back to a memory where you felt an attitude of gratitude, so you can feel that appreciation in your heart and open your heart even more. So with the count of 3, go deeper and back in time. 2, trust your impressions. 1, be in a memory where you feel incredibly grateful. See the details, hear the sounds, feel that appreciation, that recognition in your heart. Just breathe it in and out of your heart as you rewind and replay and recognize this wonderful feeling of gratitude. Blow it into your cells. You're in your temple of healing with your inner healer. You've declared what you want. Wellness is a skill you are creating right now by taking the steps of taking care of this, of getting into an attitude of gratitude, inviting an inner healer, and stating what you want. Now it's time for you to vividly imagine what you want. You want health? Sense yourself healthy. If you want an area to feel good, sense it's already better. You've achieved those intentions and goals. You have hope. You're allowing the universe to support you and guide you so you can think outside the box and change how you think of what's happening with you to include the word experience. I have been experiencing. I was experiencing. And declare that that is how you are going to say this from now on, so that you can let it go, so you recognize it's not you, it's just a symptom that you can let go. You can shift that perspective now. Good, very good. Now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and you're going to be back in your room, in a new body, a new mind, a new you, thinking and feeling differently, feeling more connected. Thank your inner healer, knowing you can come back here anytime and incorporate these feelings, these images into every cell of your entire being. Starting right now with the count of 1, take a big, deep energy breath in. 2, speeding up with a wonderful feeling into the present, new mind, new body, new you. 4, speeding up with another big, deep energy breath in. And with the count of 5, open those eyes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. How do you feel, Nancy?
Wonderful. Thank you, Randy. That was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom. Oh, my God. I'm so glad that you are here on the planet sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. It is. It still feels like a miracle to me.
And that's a gratitude state, isn't it? Yeah. So everything you get to do is like, oh, I get to do this. I get to do that. And so I know people are going to want to learn more from you. And how can they get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you?
They can find me on Facebook. They can reach out in Messenger. I'm happy to share my business phone number too. So it's 314-566-2701.
One more time.
314-566-2701, or Nancy Cleek Dolan on Facebook.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nancy. You have been an amazing guest. You're an amazing healer, and maybe we'll do another show on you being a medical intuitive. I'd love to, share that with people. You guys, here's the thing. Nancy gave you the steps, and yes, this is about your healing. Most of us need a coach. Most of us need a healer to help us shift perspective and help us to make sure that we do practice this every day. So I encourage you to reach out. I do this kind of work. Nancy does this kind of work. And I always like to offer a savings. If you want to work on yourself and heal something physical or emotional, please contact me. Let me know. Everything's possible. As we're learning, everything is possible, including you making change and you getting better. So join us for that, and you will understand that you can change everything that you would like to change. So that's my offer to you. And I do have to tell you guys, first of all, if you liked the show, please let us know. And you can share this later too with other people and come back and watch it. And if you liked the session, say something about that too. My next week's guest is a friend of 30 plus years. His name is Howie Samuelson, and Howie has dealt with adversity. He was partially blind most of his entire adult life. As a videographer, he had a video business, an underground TV show in the 60s. He had the Earth Network. He's going to share with us how self-hypnosis has helped him deal with all the adversity that he has had in his life, and almost dying, and the miracles and all the wonderful things he's doing for humanity. So I am so looking forward to having Howie share his journey with us next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. He is a visionary, even though he no longer can actually see. He's going to be on our Facebook Live show. So that's a miracle in and of itself, if you ask me. So, all right, you guys. Nancy, once again, thank you. And thank you, everyone who joined the show. Nancy, if you want to say anything to anyone, please do that now.
Friends, if you found this helpful, please share it. And as I think Randi mentioned, this is a weekly podcast she does. A lot of great information there. And I believe you also have them archived on your site, correct?
Yes, under videos.
Check them out.
Yeah. All right, you guys, take care. Mwah. Heal well.